my life was ruined by a woman named Emily. I always thought Emily was my best friend, so I never imagined that the person who would drag me into the abyss would be her. Those days, whenever I think back, it makes me shiver all over, a feeling like an incurable parasite. The school bell rang, and the students couldn't wait to rush out the door.
Rachel, hurry up! Mike just texted me. He and John are already waiting for us at the gate.
Even though it was a cold winter, Mike and John insisted on walking us home every day after our evening classes, which ended at 9:30 p.m. Mike was Emily's first love, and John was mine.
All right, but seriously, what's the point of them walking us home every day without a car? I don't want them waiting at the school gate for us every day. It's only been a few days, and our classmates are already gossiping about us.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it. They're only a few years older than us and haven't gotten their driver's licenses yet. Oh, by the way, I heard John is already taking the test. Once he gets his license, he can drive us home.
Forget it. I don't want them driving us. We're still students. If my mom sees it, who knows what she'll think. Walking is fine, let's go.
Emily and I chatted as we quickly reached the school gate. John and Mike were waiting there, and when they saw us, they hurried over. John wrapped his arm around me. I didn't pull away, but I felt uncomfortable inside. Emily was different. She seemed to really love Mike. They were always affectionate, hugging and kissing like a couple deeply in love. Because of my relationship with Emily, John and Mike became good friends and often picked us up from school together. Mike always had a cigarette in his mouth, looking like a delinquent, which I didn't like.
Emily, are you really in love with Mike?
Yes, I really love him. Rachel, don't you love John?
No.
If you don't love him, why are you with him?
I don't know. Maybe because we're about to graduate from high school, and I've never been in a relationship. It felt like something was missing. John has been pursuing me, so I agreed.
Emily nodded thoughtfully.
Emily, I think Mike. What about him?
I wanted to tell Emily that I didn't like Mike and felt he wasn't a good person, but I swallowed my words. A girl in love wouldn't listen to such harsh advice.
Nothing, as long as you like him. We're about to graduate, and with our grades, I doubt any university will accept us. What are your plans after graduation?
I haven't decided yet. I'll take it one day at a time. What about you?
I'm not planning to go to college. I might work at my aunt's beauty salon. My mom has mentioned it to me before.
As we talked, Emily suddenly started gagging.
What's wrong? Is your stomach upset?
I don't know, I just suddenly feel like throwing up.
Maybe you caught a cold. Let me take you to the infirmary.
No need, I'm fine. No need to go to the infirmary.
Emily didn't want to go, so I got her a cup of hot water.
Are you sure you don't want to see a doctor? Maybe you should ask the teacher for leave and go home to rest.
Rachel. I
suddenly realized.
Oh my gosh. You can't be. Oh my gosh.
Rachel and Emily sat under the shade of the old oak tree, discussing their future plans.
I'm not planning to go to college. I might work at my aunt's beauty salon. My mom has mentioned it to me before.
Suddenly, Emily started gagging.
What's wrong? Is your stomach upset?
I don't know, I just suddenly feel like throwing up.
Maybe you caught a cold. Let me take you to the infirmary.
No need, I'm fine. No need to go to the infirmary.
Emily didn't want to go, so Rachel got her a cup of hot water.
Are you sure you don't want to see a doctor? Maybe you should ask the teacher for leave and go home to rest.
Rachel.
Rachel suddenly realized the situation.
Oh my gosh. You can't be. Oh my gosh.
Rachel and Emily were seated at a small cafe, discussing their future plans.
I'm not planning to go to college. I might work at my aunt's beauty salon. My mom has mentioned it to me before.
Suddenly, Emily's face turned pale.
Ugh, ugh.
What's wrong? Is your stomach upset?
I don't know, I just suddenly feel like throwing up.
Maybe you caught a cold. Let me take you to the infirmary.
No need, I'm fine. No need to go to the infirmary.
Rachel fetched a cup of hot water for Emily.
Are you sure you don't want to see a doctor? Maybe you should ask the teacher for leave and go home to rest.
Rachel. I.
Oh my gosh. You can't be. Oh my gosh.
Rachel had a conversation with John, revealing some shocking news.
I found out that Mike has another woman. And not just that, he also has a child with her.
Rachel was stunned and knew she had to tell Emily immediately.
Emily, I need to tell you something, but you have to promise me you'll stay calm.
What is it?
I heard from John yesterday that Mike has another woman, and they even have a child together.
Emily seemed strangely calm.
Oh, I know.
What, you know? You know and you're still with him? You know and you still went through all of that for him?
Rachel, that was in the past. Mike told me he was young and foolish back then. He regrets it now. He only loves me now.
Emily! You're being so naive. How can you believe his lies? Listen to me, break up with him. He's not a good person.
No, I trust him. He wouldn't lie to me. Stop talking about this, Rachel. I'm not breaking up with him, and I hope you won't speak ill of Mike in front of me anymore.
Despite Rachel's sincere advice, Emily wouldn't listen. A week passed, and Mike still hadn't come to school. One day, Emily came to Rachel crying.
Mike wants to break up with me.
So be it. I told you Mike wasn't a good person. It's better this way.
No, Rachel, I can't break up with him. I can't live without him.
What do you mean you can't live without him? No one is indispensable in this world. Emily, you're so beautiful. You'll definitely meet someone better who truly loves you.
Emily didn't say anything more and just cried for a long time. After that, she never came to school again. Rachel went to find her, but Emily insisted that the exams meant nothing to her. With her grades, she wouldn't get into college, and even if she did, she couldn't afford the tuition and needed to take care of her grandmother. The classroom buzzed with conversation as Rachel and Emily discussed their futures.
I'm not planning to go to college. I might work at my aunt's beauty salon. My mom has mentioned it to me before.
Suddenly, Emily started gagging, her face pale.
What's wrong? Is your stomach upset?
I don't know, I just suddenly feel like throwing up.
Maybe you caught a cold. Let me take you to the infirmary.
No need, I'm fine. No need to go to the infirmary.
Emily didn't want to go, so Rachel got her a cup of hot water.
Are you sure you don't want to see a doctor? Maybe you should ask the teacher for leave and go home to rest. I'm still worried.
Rachel. I.
Suddenly, Rachel realized the gravity of the situation.
Oh my gosh! You can't be! Oh my gosh!
Rachel and Emily sat in the school courtyard, discussing their futures.
I'm not planning to go to college. I might work at my aunt's beauty salon. My mom has mentioned it to me before.
That sounds interesting. You could learn so much there.
Suddenly, Emily started gagging, alarming Rachel.
What's wrong? Is your stomach upset?
I don't know, I just suddenly feel like throwing up.
Maybe you caught a cold. Let me take you to the infirmary.
No need, I'm fine. No need to go to the infirmary.
Emily didn't want to go, so Rachel got her a cup of hot water.
Are you sure you don't want to see a doctor? Maybe you should ask the teacher for leave and go home to rest.
Rachel. I. Oh my gosh! You can't be! Oh my gosh!
That night, Rachel locked herself in the bathroom and washed repeatedly, but she knew no matter how much she washed, she could never feel clean again. John sent her a message.
Rachel, I just saw your message. What's wrong with Emily? She's fine. She was with me the whole afternoon.
Seeing John's message, Rachel felt like the ground was collapsing beneath her. Emily was fine, she had been with John the entire time.
At that moment, she couldn't afford to be sad. She just wanted to find out the truth. How were you two together?
Emily said you asked her to find me. She didn't say what it was about, and then I don't know what happened, I just blacked out. When I woke up, I saw your message.
Reading John's words, Rachel instantly understood. Emily had guessed she would contact John and had drugged him.
John, come out. I need to talk to you.
Rachel arranged to meet John and decided to tell him everything because, at this point, he was the only person she could trust. After hearing everything, John came over and hugged her tightly. Rachel instinctively pushed him away.
Don't touch me, John. I'm already tainted.
Rachel, don't say that. The ones who are tainted are them, not you.
John, do you really not mind?
How could I mind? Rachel, you will always be pure and innocent in my heart.
Although Rachel didn't love John before, at that moment, she truly loved him. He was her only support now.
Rachel, let's call the police.
No, I won't call the police. John, if this gets out, how will I face anyone? You might as well ask me to disappear.
All right, we won't call the police, but we can't just let them get away with this.
Rachel knew John loved her and wanted to avenge her. But looking at this innocent boy in front of her, how could she drag him into this? Just then, her phone rang. It was a message from Mike. One after another, they were all her compromising photos and videos. Her hand trembled in fear, and her phone fell to the ground. John picked it up.
Damn it, that scumbag Mike. I'll make sure he pays for this.
John, what should I do?
If you want these photos and videos, bring $1 million. Mike sent another message.
Rachel, go home first. I'll deal with Mike. Don't be afraid.
At that moment, Rachel didn't know what else to do, so she went home. Back home, she thought about it. This must have something to do with Emily. She needed to confront her and get to the bottom of this. Rachel went to Emily's house and knocked hard on the door.
Emily! Emily! Come out! You come out!
When the door opened, the scene before her left her stunned. The door was ajar, and Rachel pushed it open. Emily was sitting on the floor, the room in disarray and filled with an awful smell. Seeing Rachel, Emily stood up.
Rachel, you're finally here.
Emily, what happened to you? Why did you conspire with Mike? Why did you do this to me? Do you know you've ruined my life? Tell me, did Mike force you into this, or did you do it willingly?
Rachel's voice trembled with the need for answers.
Rachel, you've always been better than me at everything. Your family is wealthier, you're prettier, and I'm always inferior to you. You gave me your old pencil cases, your worn clothes, your ill-fitting shoes. I always got your leftovers. Why should I accept your charity?
So, you hate me? You want to ruin me? But did you know, the pencil case wasn't something I didn't want. I gave it to you because I cherished it. The shoes, I bought them in your size on purpose. Emily, I'm so disappointed in you. Do you know I've always considered you my best friend? How could you do this to me?
Emily was stunned by Rachel's words.
So what? I could overlook everything else, but now I just want to be with Mike. Mike told me that if I lured you to that abandoned garage, he wouldn't break up with me.
Rachel slapped Emily hard.
You're shameless. Are you even human? How could you do something so despicable for that man?
Yes, I'm shameless, I'm despicable. But I didn't know he would do that to you at first. I thought he just wanted to extort some money from you. Later, when I found out what they did to you, I regretted it so much.
Rachel couldn't hear anything she said. She just lunged at Emily, pulling her hair in a frenzy.
Kill me, I don't want to live anymore. Mike doesn't want me anymore.
You're beyond saving.
Seeing Emily in such a pitiful state, Rachel decided to let her go. Just then, a message from Mike came through. Is the million ready? I'll give you 3 more days. If I don't see the money, your photos and videos will be all over the internet headlines. $1 million? How could Rachel possibly have $1 million? And your boyfriend John, he's with me now. Bring the money, and I'll let him go. Don't call the police, or you'll be collecting his body. Faced with Mike's threats, Rachel was helpless. But she had to save John, and she couldn't let those videos and photos get out. So, she made a monumental decision. From that moment on, she embarked on a path of no return. I sent Mike a message.
Mike, let's meet up and talk about that $1 million issue.
Sure. Having been through so much already, I wasn't afraid of him doing anything worse. We arranged to meet at an entertainment club, which I knew was Mike's territory.
Mike, I know what kind of business you're into now. I don't have $1 million to give you, but I can help you make money.
After the last incident, I secretly investigated him and found out about his illegal activities. From then on, I started selling myself to repay the debt. To avoid suspicion from Dad and Mom, I lied to them, saying I was working at a clothing company and rented a small apartment nearby because it was far from home. Mike agreed to release John first because he didn't want to keep holding him and risk getting into more trouble. John soon found out about this. One day, I had just taken some medication and was in a daze. In my haze, I saw John coming. He was desperately calling my name and trying to make me drink cold water. I struggled to open my eyes, called his name, and then passed out again. When I woke up, I was lying in my rented apartment. John was by my bedside.
Rachel, you're awake? Are you okay?
What happened to me? What happened last night? Why are you here?
I've been looking for you everywhere these past few days. I found out you were at the Jinyu Entertainment Club and what you've been doing. Last night, when I went to find you, you had just taken that stuff. You told me your address in your daze, and I brought you back.
I had fallen so low. I was no longer the Rachel I used to be, and I didn't want to drag John down with me.
Why are you looking for me? We have nothing to do with each other anymore. John, don't come looking for me again.
Rachel, don't be like this. Come with me. I'll take good care of you. Let's leave the past behind and start over in a place where no one knows us.
John, stop being naive. I like my life the way it is now. I don't love you at all. Don't meddle in my business anymore.
With that, I got up, dressed, and prepared to leave.
Where are you going?
To work. You should leave. Don't come looking for me again.
John grabbed my arm.
Rachel, don't go to work. Don't go back to that place. I'm begging you. If you keep this up, you will ruin the rest of your life.
Ruin the rest of my life? My life was ruined long ago. There's no rest of my life left.
With that, I slammed the door and walked away. Emily and Rachel were having a conversation about future plans.
I'm not planning to go to college. I might work at my aunt's beauty salon. My mom has mentioned it to me before.
As they talked, Emily suddenly started gagging.
What's wrong? Is your stomach upset?
I don't know, I just suddenly feel like I'm going to be sick.
Maybe you caught a cold. Let me take you to the infirmary.
No need, I'm fine. No need to go to the infirmary.
Emily didn't want to go, so Rachel got her a cup of hot water.
Are you sure you don't want to see a doctor? Maybe you should ask the teacher for leave and go home to rest.
Rachel. I.
Rachel suddenly realized something.
Oh my gosh. You can't be. Oh my gosh.